What's the hurry?
It's been a while since we first set foot on Inazuma. So many things have happened since. Yeah, we've definitely made some progress. So, where should we go today? Huh? What's up? Hey! What the heck was that for? Doesn't want to talk, huh? All right, let's convince him to calm down a little.
As one with wind and cloud!
Huh? So you don't have a vision after all? Seems like I've mistaken you for someone else.
At the very least, you should make sure you've got... No, wait! Even when you've got the right person, you shouldn't go attack...
Have you ever met someone by the name of Kaedahara Kazuha? He carries a sword just like you. I've also heard that he possesses an... That's none of your business. Never mind. You don't look like you know anything anyway. I'm wasting my time.
What the heck is this guy's problem? Coming around here, waving that Well, one thing's for sure. No way are we telling... Hey! Don't be mean! I'm on smart lots of the time! Anyway, just to be on the safe side, we should go find Kazuo. Oh? What kind of hunch? A special connection? You mean beyond already knowing each other? Yeah. Maybe a little. Anyway, there's no time to lose. Let's go tell Kazuo so we won't get into any... Paimon heard that the Crux fleet is stocking up in Rito at the moment. Let's look for him there.
You're looking for Kazuo too, huh? Guess he must have done something impressive out... Well, we took the small vessels into Rito on a routine supply run, only this time... If it's because of that battle on Nizuchi Beach, Captain Beto had a great run there too, but I don't see her getting this kind of attention. Kazuo keeps to himself most of the time. In fact, there are times when he doesn't even listen to the captain, but...
Oh, so you...
I've heard bits and pieces. Something about him blocking the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi. Is it really as big a deal as everyone's making it out to be? Really? Wow. When you put it like that, it all makes sense. He was called away earlier by some people from the Tenryou Commission. They said they had something in... I thought they'd come to arrest him at first. Turns out they couldn't have been friendlier to him.
Just a little while ago, this would have been completely unimaginable. Thank you! Guess we'll go pay a visit to the...
All right, then. I'll just stay here and...
Oh? It's you.
Greetings. We were just discussing the repealing of the Vision Hunt Decree. Since you're here, we invited Mr. Kaedahara here to extend a gesture of goodwill on behalf of the Shogunate. Your hard work has secured for us the agreeable state of affairs that we now enjoy. Also, I've been granted the chance to correct my clan's past The Almighty Shogun has issued a large array of directives aimed at resolving, or at least ease. The Tri-Commission has made the recommendation to use this opportunity to restore the honor of the Kaedahara name. Regarding the history of the Kaedahara clan, I trust that you're already somewhat informed? In short, there was once a group of select bladesmiths who served the shogun directly, responsible for upholding and further developing the traditional blade forging arts but there came a time when some of these bladesmiths revolted and fled to Snezhnaya. Both the Kaedahara and Kamisato clans were held accountable for lax oversight and entered a period. We later learned that the whole misadventure had been secretly orchestrated by the Fatui, considering Mr. Kaedahara has once more made an outstanding contribution to Inazuma, the Almighty Shogun believes he should not only be rewarded for his achievement. In the interest of preventing further harassment of the Bladesmith clans by the Fatui, we chose not to publicly release the findings of our investigations into—
This is a true honor. I am delighted to be in a position to receive the goodwill of the Almighty Shogun. However, would I be correct to assume that this magnanimous—
I can assure you that nothing could be further from the truth. We seek only to correct a past. With the Kaedahara clan's reputation and occupation restored, the Kaedaharas will be bladesmiths once more. And you're wondering, you will be able to lead a safe and prosperous life in Inazuma City, with the Almighty Shogun's blessing and full support.
I have grown accustomed to life among the elements. I fear I would no longer feel at home behind the tall— Yet my ancestors did indeed take great pride in the name of Kaedahara, and the art of blade making.
I sense some hesitation in your words. Should you accept this offer, I imagine many of the malicious rumors currently circulating through the
Malicious rumors? All we heard on the way here was so much praise that we almost went—
Well, to some, the Muso no Hitotachi is something that can never be defeated. They cannot accept the idea that Mr. Kaedahara really parried the Shogun's strike. Also, eyewitnesses saw him using the power of Electro in addition to that of Animo. As a result, also that Kaedahara Kazuha was using a delusion.
What? But that doesn't make sense.
That is correct. However, to some people, the idea of a single person wielding two elements at once—
This is just one of many similar rumors. I am very uncomfortable with being the subject of public— But perhaps if the Shogunate is willing to publicly support me, this situation—
This is precisely why I encourage you to give our offer some serious thought. It stands to benefit all—
Please, in fact, let us put this discussion on hold for the moment. Well then.
Yikes! We nearly forgot about them.
Why would such a dangerous individual be looking for me? No. This puzzles me as much as it— My fighting forms were taught to me by my family, based on techniques originally developed for blade testing. We undergo rigor— Over time, these techniques came to form something of a Kaedahara sword art, focused on blade testing, but with a full repertoire. Those forms are quite different from the more practical ones typically used by samurai in battle. So—
All the more reason to watch your back.
Indeed. He sounds highly aggressive.
In that case, I will send some men out—
Thank you. I must say I am now very curious about this matter, and I will also need— I will first join the Traveler in investigating the one who attacked—
Very well. Please stay safe.
Come on. Let's go and track down your aggressor.
The detective agency knows the most about what goes on in town. Let's see what Ryuji has to say. We'd like to ask you a quick question. Do you know if anyone around here has been looking for him?
Aha! So this is the renowned Mr. Kaedahara.
You are too kind. We are currently investigating an assault.
Oh? You were targeted in an assault? Mr. Kaidehara is currently the talk of the town, so there are always— To be honest with you, our detective agency has recently been receiving many inquiries from people with— Some of them were offering us millions of mora just to gather the information they want. If these were more—
Millions? Of Mora? Whoa!
Please, accept my thanks for looking out for my private.
Of course. No matter what, we only take on legitimate cases. We don't make our money by revealing details of other people. Sorry, I got a little off topic. What I'm really trying to say is, but I wouldn't know where to begin if—
Then let's put that connection aside for now. Have there been— The Tenryou Commission had very few leads. I thought you might—
It's true that the commissioners aren't clued up about every little thing that goes on out in the streets. If anyone had been out there attacking people, that would be assault, in which—
Uh-oh. Looks like the trails are—
I still find it difficult to believe that whoever attacked you hasn't— Few people possess your prowess in battle. So unless you were the first person he targeted, someone is certain to have been hurt by now. I am well aware of your talents. There is no need to be humble around me. It would cause me great grief to see someone become critically injured. For the poor victim, this would be a completely senseless—
Don't worry, we'll find him.
It seems you are every bit the selfless hero they make you out to be, Mr. Kaidehara. Surely this same concern for your—
You flatter me. Truth be told,
You are much too humble. Don't worry, I completely understand. Oh, actually, there was one strange— Let me tell you about it just in case.
sure. During times like this, the—
All right then. Recently, two people went missing. One of them is a pretty well-known collector, surnamed Nagato. The other, Amenoma Yuya, is a samurai from the—
Amanoma. Now there's—
Right. Yuya is the nephew of Amenoma Togo, the owner of Two grown men going missing at the same time. I recalled this because Amenoma Yuya is also an accomplished martial artist who is skilled with the blade. Perhaps he is the—
Understood, though it seems highly unlikely to me. I neither know this man—
Sure, can't hurt. We never know.
Thank you, Ryuji. We'll start by making—
Sounds good. All the best.
Ah, if it isn't Kaedehara Kazuha.
You two—
Yes, the Kaedehara and Amenoma clans were both members of the Raiden Gokaden. Historically, there have always been deep links. After I returned to Inazuma, I visited Mr. Amenoma to pay my respects. Let me quickly explain. The Raiden Gokaden was the collective term for the 5 most acclaimed— The techniques of blade making were personally bequeathed to the Raiden Gokaden by the almighty Shogun. And over time, further home— Unfortunately, a series of events led to the gradual decline of many clans in the bladesmithing trade.
So sad.
It is a great pity indeed. In the old days, we each had our as an example, the Amenoma art strives to emulate the There is nothing mystical to our work. There is only practice, day in and day out. As for the art of the Kaedehara clan, I believe it's called the Isshin art.
That's right. Isshin art strives for complete harmony between blade and mind. For only a blade thus forged can capture and convey its maker's thoughts and feelings, and eventually become an
Indeed. Most samurai choose their blades, but an Isshin blade chooses it. You are, without a doubt, the most worthy wielder of an Isshin blade. It gladdens my heart to see that—
You overestimate me. My actions are guided, but let's get back on topic. The purpose of our visit today— We hope to assist with the investigation. It may turn out that this—
Ah, yes. My nephew. He didn't say a word before he left, which is very unlike him. But I've done what I can so far. Worrying is futile.
We heard that there was a collector involved in the disappearance.
Yes. On the morning that Yuya went missing, he gave me a very— I believe he went to collect the item from Mr. Nagato. After that, Yes. Strange, isn't it? I wonder what could have caused it.
Do you have any thoughts on what Yuya...
If I had to guess, it must have been some kind of rare weapon. He's never been particularly interested in blade forging, but has always had a fondness for blade. He is extraordinarily talented in martial arts.
Truth be told, we have some information that you may find to be, based on the evidence we have gathered so far, only Yuya seems...
What? No. Absolutely impossible. He is humble and kind. Even his training is done with the goal of
Is that so?
Yes. If there's one thing I can say for certain, but with that said, it's equally out of character for him to just disappear. I also cannot know what course of action he might be capable of if Anyway, should you find him, please let me...
Don't worry. You have our word.
From the sound of that, Paimon doesn't think Yuya was the one who attacked.
Yes. It sounds as if something happened when... Let's pay a visit to the...
I'm very sorry, but we cannot afford to pay what we... My husband has gone missing, and I'm still trying...
No, you misunderstand us. We are here to help with the investigation. We'd like to ask you some questions.
Ah, I see. I thought the debt collectors had... I'm sorry you have to see me in this dreadful state. Has some new...
I'm afraid we don't have any new info. With this in mind, can we perhaps ask some questions about your family?
For example, Paimon's struggling to understand...
That's a long story. Ever since he'd always get so animated when he was showing them to me. I knew nothing about the items myself, but seeing how enthusiastic and excited they made him, everything was fine when we first got married. But as he lost his sense of restraint. He started buying more and more things, and our expenses really spiraled out of control when he started getting interested in weapons. It was awful. There were days when he'd spend hours down at the warehouse, admiring him. He wouldn't sell them, wouldn't even touch them. Just sat there staring at them like, I'm happy he has a hobby and I'm willing to support him. But making ends meet has to... On the last day that I saw him, I gave him an ultimatum. I said...
Whoa!
And that led to an argument.
Actually, it didn't. Generally, he's a quiet man. Who you must understand, I never would have dreamed of threatening him with divorce if the debts had... After I said those words, he froze and was silent for a long time. His voice was so meek and pitiful that I felt an urge to take everything back. But then what? If I didn't draw the line, what would happen to our family? Had I not indulged his bad habits, we wouldn't have found ourselves. And I also don't know if he had actually... The next thing I heard was that our warehouse had caught fire.
I see. Amenoma Yuya came to purchase a weapon from Mr. Nagato. During the sale...
At first, I assumed they must have gotten into an argument, but my husband has never been one to negotiate. He never even haggles when he's out buying groceries, so...
Maybe he was feeling the...
I don't know. He just disappeared after the warehouse burned. Perhaps he's too afraid to come home, now that all his collectibles have been lost in the fire. Even though I'm still a little mad at him. We're a family. As long as he's willing to turn over a new leaf, I know we...
Please don't get upset. There could be more to this situation. If collecting things is a habit that Mr. Nagato had his whole life, it is quite unusual for this habit, but the information we gathered from the other side suggests Amenoma Yuya is also a mild This situation...
A little confusing. More like complete...
Let's try a change of scenery and see. Rest assured, we'll notify you if we find anything.
Thank you so much.
Based on the information we've gathered so far, I can only surmise that the sales meeting between the two men and the fire at the warehouse likely played a part in how the situation unfolded. Do you have any thoughts?
Well, Paimon was thinking that maybe someone accidentally knocked over an oil... Nope, never mind. Paimon's brain needs to rest for a while. Over to you.
An interesting explanation. Amenoma Yuya is an expert on swords. He could have noticed maybe he recognized a blade as a fake, or a well-known stolen item. Either way, after arguing about it, they thought a fire would destroy everything. But then the Tenryou Commission began investigating and uncovered, but it's a far-fetched theory. I can't imagine how that one fact that I keep coming back to is that Amenoma Yuya is polite and well-mannered. Mr. Nagato, being heavily in debt, is also the only one of them with the potential. The more I ponder it, the more puzzling it becomes. Just right. Although the time frame seems to broadly match, no other details that Amenoma Yuya lacks a key distinguishing feature of the attacker. Namely, that he is principally a practitioner of the blade testing technique.
Darn! We thought we could get two birds with one stone.
Let's keep going, since if we can solve the case, both Mr. Amenoma and
Okay, but where should we...
Let's head out of the city and check out the warehouse. There's still a chance.
My apologies. Kamore Tea House only accepts guests of senior status.
Wait. I hear something ominous in the wind.
Oh! This must be another one of those sounds that only you... As sketchy as that whole thing seems, you did put it to good use when we were chasing down that...
Now I'm picking up a strong scent in it.
But there's nothing here.
It's gone now, but I can still sense that it felt very much like that ancient presence in Inazuma. The remnants of the Tatarigami. Indeed. But this unexpected spring of inauspicious energy may... We should remain vigilant and...
So it's an under...
The force is definitely coming from... The source of the Tatarigami energy has long since left. Judging from the concentration, I would have to
Mrs. Nagato said her husband used to hang around the warehouse.
It could well be that he was already under the influence of Tatarigami energy. From what I've been told, Tatarigami but most will develop a stubborn streak upon being exposed to the Tatarigami's... Mr. Nagato had an interest in collecting to begin with. The influence of Tatarigami could explain why he became an...
So what should we do next?
Step back. I'll open the door and take a look. If we don't open this door, we can move no... You needn't worry. Both of us have faced far great...
What's down there?
Everything's buried in debris. I can't... It looks like the fire caused a cave-in, reducing the entire warehouse.
That was too scary! Paimon was so...
All we can do now is keep searching in the direction that the Tatarigami entered. Two ordinary humans, entangled with the Tatarigami. Yes, let's go. If nothing, quiet your mind and focus on what you sense around you. From this point, the trail appears to split into two. The main source of the Tatarigami energy continued on into the distance, but a small portion remained here.
Whoa! Look at all those hilly turtles! They're acting really strangely.
Something seems to be drawing their attention. Let's take a closer look. It's...
Ugh! Look at this red...
By the looks of it, a letter written on a piece of torn clothing. Well, let's take a look. According to this letter, a conflict arose because Ameno Yuya started the fire that destroyed the warehouse and wounded Mr. Nagato in the fight.
So, where is...
He was not only mortally wounded, but also under the heavy influence of Tatarigami. Whatever traces there may have been of his fate beyond after this point, they've since been disturbed by... Yes. Right now, we need... If Amenoma Yuya is attacking other people indiscriminately...
Right! So let's get moving!
I wouldn't be surprised if he, too, fell prey to the... For a practitioner of the martial arts, the easiest... All the clues that at first seemed disparate. I have a hypothesis that, if it's correct...
Wait! You figured it out?
I believe so. But it's something of an outlandish... On with the search. We must stay vigilant. He seems to have stayed here for a long...
Why here? Is there anything
I'm not sure. But on closer examination, I sense that the Show yourself! It's no...
Kaedehara Kazuha. It's you, at last.
Aha! So it is the same guy. What's your problem, huh? What could you possibly have against...
Indeed, there should be no enmity between us. But what if instead of facing Amenoma Yuya, we are in fact facing the blade in his hand?
Now that you mention it, it is giving... Whoa! Surely you don't...
Tatarigami energy often lodges itself within physical objects. The blade has resided in Mr. Nagato's warehouse for many years, affecting his state, or rather, as a means to occupy Amenoma Yuya's body.
You're sharper than I thought. You've already deduced the truth of them. Many, many years ago, I was forged by a famed bladesmith of the Isshin tradition. I was his pride and joy. In me, he placed all as a descendant of the Kaedehara clan. You should be able to guess our
I presume it has something to do with the Raiden Gokaden.
Indeed. At that point in time, he failed to live up to the Raiden Shogun's expectations. In the end, he was a bladesmith of great renown, a master of his craft. There was nothing that he could not accomplish. All he needed was more time and a little... And sure enough, in the end, he achieved what he had set out to do. All of his life's work, his wisdom, he not only bestowed upon me the greatest of strength, but in her conceit, the Raiden Shogun lost not only the single most perfect blade in the entire world.
So... swords?
The people of the time in which I was born never believed I had that kind of power. They saw me as... After the death of my creator, I decided to leave Snezhnaya and began my long quest to return to the distant land. I seek but one thing: to face the full force of the Raiden Shogun's blade and prove my power, the might...
So miHoYo was not your first victim. Tell me, what happens to those you've possessed?
My hosts? Who cares what happens to them? They are... When they got tired, or injured, or unusable, I hopped to the next one in line. All I needed them for was to take...
You're awful!
After I returned to Inazuma, I decided to bide my time in Nagato's warehouse. At long last, I'm approaching my journey's destination. By miHoYo's body, I have... Kaede Harakazuha, you stood against the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi. There can be... Now, give your body over.
The wind knows me.
Transfixed!
Shall we write history? Join me and sever that divine light. Submit to me.
One with nature.
Join me and sever that divine light. Do not stand in my way, or I will strike you down too!
Your bluff's fooling no one! You've lost!
Lost? I can never lose. It is this body. Even if you defeat me here, the one who falls will not be me. He is but a puppet that can be replaced. The end result is the same. I will end this wretch's life before you can lift a finger. And even if I were to lose my physical form, by any means necessary, and any medium available...
Your fighting style. It is indeed the forms of Isshin art, but from your movements, I sense only hatred and arrogance, as well as a thin...
Really? You can tell all that?
As I've mentioned before, the forms of Isshin art convey the user's thoughts and feelings. Since the blade is currently possessing miHoYo's body, its movements express the... If you ask me, the mania is probably due to your desperate single-minded...
Are you trying to claim that I am helpless without you? On his deathbed, he passed to me all of Isshin art's secrets. The little that... In that regard, why would I ever...
Because all of that is in the past. I've been wondering why you've not caused more trouble in all the years that you've been in Inazuma. If you are indeed a... Now that I've seen inside your mind, everything finally makes sense. After all the time that's passed, you have grown weak. To the point that you are...
Oh, that's right! Paimon remembers now! Mr. Nagato had a habit of never touching his collectibles.
Only when Mr. Nagato witnessed his wife's distress and decided to sell his collectibles did you finally have an opportunity to reach out to miHoYo and make...
And what a...
Well, that brings me to my second. You were determined to fulfill your maker's ambition, whatever the cost. I think you realized your limitations long ago. The more you clench... But the way I see it, what began as an ambition...
What would you know about any of this? I'm just one...
You returned to Inazuma to prove the unparalleled brilliance of Isshin art. But to make this arduous journey, you committed countless atrocities and showed a blatant disregard for human life. Even if you were to sever that divine light, is this truly the outcome that your maker would have desired?
You...
Sure, you inherited the secrets of Isshin art. But even as you made your journey to honor this... How could you possibly unleash the full potential of Isshin art when you act in perfect discordance with the principle of harmony?
Silence, you blabbering fool! I must achieve my goal. This was his life's dream. I will concede that you are most perceptive. You see my predicament
And you should face reality.
Easy for you to say. Facing reality offers me... I have no need of anything that would stand in my way. Not hesitation, not self... It is pointless to argue further, descendant of the Kaida.
How stubbornly you stick to your wayward path. I do not believe for a second that you can challenge the almighty Shogun in your current state.
What? Surely you're not planning to agree.
Very well. Then find yourself some enemies with whom you wish to cross blade. Once we have dealt with them, we shall proceed to Tenshukaku.
And as for your end of the bargain, if you lose, you must release Amenoma Yuya from your control.
I accept.
Don't do this, Kazuha!
This is the only way to save Amenoma Yuya. If we don't do this, the cursed blade's strength is currently very weak, and I sense he's hesitating. The power of the Tatarigami lies in intensifying existing obsessions. This is the reason Mr. Nagato and Amenoma Yuya fell prey to it.
But even so...
Even if things take a turn for the worse, we have a chance here to save an innocent victim.
Your disdain for me betrays your woeful ignorance. I agreed to this bet now.
Kazuha?
I'm okay. I felt a little dizzy at first, but only for a moment. It's all right. So far, this was as I expected. I will. Thank you.
What should we do next? Have you got a plan, Kazuha?
We find some enemies. Although this blade has endured much turmoil, it probably hasn't experienced. If a blade built for Isshin art cannot enter a state of harmony between blade and bearer, it cannot. If he wants to avoid reality, then we need to fight until he has no choice but to face it.
Wait a minute. Paimon remembers hearing of... Since the Takatsukasa clan abandoned that secret base, it's been held...
All right.
What about Amenoma Yuya?
The blade says he'll let Amenoma Yuya trail us silently.
Are we sure this is a good idea? Okay, fine.
Into the wind! Leave everything on this journey to me.
Let's get down to business.
The wind knows me. Into the wind.
Let's get down to business.
Fallen leaves, adorn my night. One with nature.
How are you feeling?
I'm all right. The blade is performing largely as I expected. Having gone so long without proper use and maintenance, it's become... Though he's making every effort to persevere, I do not think he can last much
Something else on your mind?
How strange. Rather than trying to control me, let's keep going.
Time to go.
It's my lucky day.
The wind knows me. One with nature.
It's my lucky day. How's this?
Clouds high. The birds call into the wind. The wind knows me.
Whoa! Something's up with the blade!
I can sense that his strength is slowly fading away. The blade is becoming more and more difficult for me to wield. He cannot hold out much longer. If he keeps persisting,
But what would that do to Amanome Yuya?
I will be careful with it. He also says he does not have any He's still trying to achieve his goal.
Fall before me!
The wind knows me.
This.
Are you okay? It looked like you were really struggling the entire
Yes. And it looks like he's reached.
The sheen's grown a bit dimmer again. It doesn't look
Perhaps this time we'll finally have a chance to see his true form.
true form. What are you talking about? Is this the same blade as before? It looks like a piece of junk.
If you choose to continue in the state you're in, you wouldn't even be able to beat Samurai and Kairagi. Maybe you did truly wield power to rival the Shogun's light when first forged. But it barely needs stating anymore. Your ambition is a flight of fancy. I finally figured out why it was that you agreed to my bet. You wanted to reach a state of harmony with me. For perhaps that, but regrettably, we are nothing alike. I will never understand your obstinacy and cruelty, nor can I. The only one who truly understood you.
Huh? What's that supposed to
Here they are! Take them down!
Where do they keep coming from? Yup. We can help.
Don't worry. I'll use my own blade. It's just more of the same.
It's my lucky day.
Into the wind.
To the ferry.
Keep this battle.
You fought way better with your own sword.
You are a true Kaedehara in flesh and in spirit. Though we fought briefly together, you have seen me. No one knew anything of my story throughout my travels, nor did I tell it to anyone. I thought that if I could achieve Isshin harmony with you.
But in this too, you have failed.
Indeed. No matter how hard I tried, I could not attain that perfect harmony that too much time has passed. My physical state is poor and without proper. Yours is the blade that took on the Muso no Hitotachi. And what a magnificent blade it is.
Actually, this is just a generic blade that I picked up during my travels in Liyue.
What?
Forging and maintenance are both important for a blade, but they are not ever. This blade has traveled the land with me for many years, and we have formed a close bond during that time. Plus, skill, blade, determination, and desire. There is something else I must tell you. Though your maker may not have been aware, your ability to possess your Tatarigami is a malevolence from the ancient past. It is the source of your... Though you tried to cooperate with me while I was wielding you, the part of you driven...
I sensed it, but I couldn't...
I resisted its temptations because I wanted to save Amenoma Yuya. But I feel a great sense of regret for you. Since the moment you embarked on this journey, you lost the only person who could have ever... You have known this for a long time.
He gave me everything. How could I possibly deny him? I said to him, "Do not worry. From here on, I shall forge your legacy." How could I go back home?
Aww.
I believe our bet is now settled. I have nothing...
Where are you going, Kazuha?
He now has neither the ability nor the motivation to cause for... When I touched the hilt for the first time, it's as if I was transported. A bladesmith lay quietly on the bed. His frail face barely a newly forged blade lay by his side, listening attentively to his final words.
Wow. That was the...
Indeed. While in exile in Snezhnaya, the bladesmith eventually learned the truth behind everything that had happened. He spent the rest of his life in the forge, not to vent his frustration, and he felt intense regret at being tricked by the Fatui, but he could never again return to his homeland. His sole wish was to one day return his... So he instructed this sentient blade to find a way back to Inazuma. All he wanted to show was that they once shone brilliantly as...
So that's the But after that, the blacksmith's intentions were
Right. I believe the bladesmith might never have known that the power he worked with was that of the Tatarigami. This blade has committed unforgivable atrocities. Yes, it is too late. Time would not wait or stop because of his determination. While the world moved on, he seems to have calmed down, though.
When I look back at the past, I once told him that I would pay any price to fulfill, but darkness and slaughter numb the mind. Not only did I fail to fulfill his ambition...
You are finally seeing reality clearly.
Since we agreed to the terms of the bet, I will honor the agreement, but I still cannot bring myself to forsake his ambition. So, may I ask you to help me fulfill the ambitions of myself and my...
Hey! Now you're adding yours into the mix, too?
It has to be done in this order. At least hear what I have to say. My physical form, as well as the knowledge I possess, should still be of some value to you.
His attitude has... What do you think, Kazuha? Should we give him a...
Let's hear it.
Thank you all. When I was first forged, my maker was already terminally ill. Alas, after that, nor have I ever had the chance to prove my fights were devoid of any noble meaning. They were merely the... You are a fine warrior. I would like to request your hand in battle.
Oh? And who would be the opponent?
I will release Amenoma Yuya and restore his consciousness. He must have plenty of reasons to both...
Understood. Then let's start by waking...
I see. He used my body to inflict harm. I utterly despise him and his actions. But since he stayed true to your agreement by if a duel can help to set this state of affairs in order, I do not wish to be a mere victim.
There's no need to worry. We'll vouch for your...
Thanks for your help. Who knows how this would have ended without...
All right, then let's move on. More Ronin could appear at any moment. We can't stay here. In any case, for a final duel, I think we should aim for a greater sense of
This reminds Pаймon a bit of the Crux Clash. Yep, we still can't let our guard down, even now, still. Even if he's way past... Are you ready?
Ready? Okay. Successor of Isshin art, Kaedahara Kazuha.
Successor of Amenoma art, Amenoma Yuya.
Honored to cross blades with you.
It is my honor also.
The wind knows me. That hurt! One with nature. The wind knows me. Time to go. As one with wind and cloud.
Thank you for the experience, although he appears battered and broken. In your hands, it seems he's regained a glimmer of brilliance. His sense of savage cruelty has completely...
You also fought well. I'm sure he relished the There are a few things that I shall leave him.
I must apologize to you for all that has...
You need not seek my forgiveness. Nor do I have the right to forgive you on your... It is too late for all of...
I do not wish for forgiveness. I only hope that you will see my transgressions as mine alone, and I strayed far from the straight and narrow path, but the Isshin art, I beseech you, please understand.
Yes, I too trust Mr. Kaeda.
Thank you, successor of Amenoma.
This blade has also told me that he has another wish. He would... Maybe we can go back there together.
What does he want to go there?
I'm not sure, but I think that...
It's Yuya! You have returned.
I am sorry to have troubled you. It's all thanks to them that I was able to return safe.
A prized Isshin blade. Turned weapon that control... Considering their forging philosophy, but I have some good news as well. Ryuji from the Bonton Sango detective agent...
Really? Is he okay?
Yes. Badly wounded, but he... And now that Yuya is back, it seems...
I think I know what you want to do.
What's wrong, Kazuha? Is the blade whisper...
Yes. He said he wants to take control of me.
What? No way! Hasn't it learned its lesson?
He tells me that he's thought of another way to fulfill his maker's wish. And he assures me that I have decided to let him do...
But... he...
Thank you. I will explain my reasons later. Okay. I am ready. Let us begin.
My power is almost spent. Without him, my eventual demise is inevitable. But if I abandon the future to give everything I have in this moment, my physical form can be forged anew.
Everything? You mean...
Yes. The cost is my entire consciousness. You were right. There's nothing that I can accomplish now. But there's still a chance for Isshin art. Once remade, I will be a valuable resource for your studies. Isshin lives on, and its finest hour is yet to come. Even if I am not the one to prove its might to the Shogun, as long as it is an Isshin blade, crafted by Kaedehara hands. will still fulfill his final wish. Thank you, son of the Kaedehara clan. Over the years, my real name has been forgotten by all. I'm ashamed to utter it, yet it remains strong in my mind. Kagotsurube Isshin. This name is now yours to keep.
Rest in peace.
So, that's why he said it had to be his consciousness will disappear forever.
Kagotsurube Isshin. It seems like deep down he disapproved of his own only in the final moments before his...
Seems like he really...
The same fervent ambition that gave him the motivation to keep going. Speaking for myself, I'd rather see him I understand. Perhaps this is a flaw in my personality. Hearing his wish to rival the divine light touched something inside of me. Just as your quest to face the gods and trace your sibling after everything I've seen.
Oh,
I will continue to support you from this point on. No...
Wait! Shouldn't we also go up...
Oh, you're right. And it's also time to give him...
You've returned. I hear that the issue has been resolved. The Tenryou Commission has already attended to the danger at the warehouse. The investigation into miHoYo should conclude soon. I do not believe...
Wow! You sure kept yours.
Then we needn't recount all the details again. Now, as to your earlier offer, I wish to give you my answer.
What's this?
Kagotsurube Isshin. A weapon crafted using a long-lost blade forging art. By means of a series of fortuitous events, I was able to recover and restore him. And so, it looks like I will likely continue with my journey across the nations, learning...
I see. I understand.
The Kaedehara clan has always been a family of bladesmiths. Were I to accept your goodwill, I may find myself embroiled in conflicts between the
You misunderstand. That was most certainly not our intent.
I am aware, but I still desire to...
Very well, I can understand. Then, however, if you should ever change your mind or find yourself in need of the Shogun...
Great. Thank you for your generosity.
Where will you travel to next, Kazu?
I'll probably take... As for my next destination, let's see where the wind takes me.
You must have a whole bunch of questions after our last conversation with Nahida. Paimon was ready to ask her a million more questions, but didn't want to seem too pushy. Like, about these descenders. So, does that just mean people like you who come traveling to Teyvat from someplace else? And as for your sister... Whew, so many questions. Let's go find Nahida and see what else we can find out.